One of Ireland's customs and traditions are their funerals. They always see it as a cause to celebrate their deceased. During the funeral, someone must always be watching over the body, and the window must be open in the room so that the spirit can leave the house. The window must be closed after a couple of hours so that the spirit can't re-enter the house. Before they lay out the body, it must be washed, and the men must be freshly shaved. All the clocks must be stopped at the same time the deceased has passed, and all the mirrors must be covered up as a sign of respect. Halloween is another one of Ireland's customs and traditions. Their Halloween is also known as Samhain. It is celebrated on more than one day, November 1st and November 2nd. The Samhain signified the end of a grazing season, when only breeding animals are kept for the end of the year slaughter. It was said that if any crops were left out on November 1st, they may be spoiled by the fairies, known as the burial mound. There are also many parades celebrated during Halloween night. The townspeople dress up in costumes to cover their faces so that the spirits don't recognize them. Riverdance first started Irish dancing. It was first shown on TV when it then started to become very popular. Their costumes have Celtic designs that date back to the arrival of the Celts. They are normally very elegant and treated with a lot of respect.
Please enjoy this video of Irish dancing.
The Abbey Theatre is known as the National Theatre of Ireland. The theatre first opened to the public on December 27, 1904, but sadly, in 1951, the original building was damaged by fire, and they built a new one 15 years later. Now the Abbey Theatre is where people can go see plays, poets, musicals, and dance pieces. Often people will go during the late evening to see a play. It is very common. Irish hurling is a fast and furious game that always has the crowd going crazy. It is a touch sport and can cause a lot of injuries. Each player has a wooden stick called to hurl, and they try to get the ball, which is called a sloitter. The ball is about the size of a baseball and equally as hard. The sloitter can be carried with your hand or hurl, but it must be passed after 4 steps. But if the ball is thrown in the air, it can also be hit out of the air with your hurl. Please enjoy this next clip of Irish hurling. Ireland is known for their golf courses, and even Donald Trump was seen in Ireland golfing, so it must be good. Golf wasn't always this popular, though. It wasn't until after World War II when it started to gain popularity.
In Ireland, almost everyone is Roman Catholic, about 92% to be exact. The rest are identified as Protestant or another belief. The Roman Catholic Church is actively involved in the community. They often help out with education and social services. Once a year, about 4,500 missionaries travel to Africa and visit the poor, and try to help out in any way that they can.
In the Irish Church, they also use symbols. For example, the Claddagh symbol is used to show the bonds of love, friendship, and loyalty. Some believe that the right-hand symbol represents the father of the Celtic god called Dagda, and the left is the mother goddess Anu. The crowned heart in the middle is the symbol of the God the Father, and the 2 hands are his Son, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit. Another symbol they use in Ireland is the shamrock. They believe that the shamrock is used to spread Christianity. The 3 leaves on the plant represent the Holy Trinity, but others believe that the number 3 is considered magical in the Celtic tradition, so that's why they believe for the shamrock to bring good luck.
In Ireland, the original language spoken used to be Gaelic, but now many of them speak English. In Ireland, they have a strong accent that we're not used to hearing in America, and their sayings are very unique and different. For example, if they wanted to tell someone to have a good time, they would say, "Have a whale of a good time." And if they wanted to know where the bathroom was, they would say, "Where's the Jacks?" And if someone wanted to describe that they were feeling happy, they would say, "Happy out."
Here's a little clip about how everyone speaks a little differently in different parts of Ireland.
I think Ireland has to get something straight with the rest of the world, or maybe just Hollywood. You see, we don't all sound like leprechauns on acid. Thank you, Tom Cruise, Jared Butler, and Jesus have mercy on her soul, Julia Roberts. There's actually a big difference if you're either from the north, south, east, or west of Ireland. Let's break it down and set this record straight. Are you listening, Roberts? Dublin is the capital, and the accent here was heavily influenced by the British occupation of Ireland for more than 800 years. What's odd is that for such a relatively small city, we have two very distinct accents, generally assigned to north and south side. On the north side, you'll hear people talking like this. Here the D replaces TH, so you get a lot of this, that, these and those. And if there's a T at the end of a word, bleeding forget it. Venture south and they'll speak absolutely like this. The South Dublin resident is all about the O's and Oo's. Elongate those vowels like, like totally the opposite of the narrow sounds of the North Sider. Moving into the south, we come to the People's Republic of Cork, boy. For some weird reason, everyone here speaks a few octaves higher than the rest of the country, boy. It's a little bit forlorn and a little bit melodic, and every now and again, boy is thrown in for the crack. Fair play to you, boy. Now move down a bit and you're into West Cork, where it all gets a bit thicker and a bit faster, so. Then there's Kerry, and that is probably the jewel in the Irish accent crown. Not sure even Irish people understand this, unless they're from the kingdom itself. Sure, it's fast and it's furious. SH features even when it's not there, like. Sure, doesn't it sound better for it, like. Limerick is more nasal and sharper on the ear, so you can tell you've left the kingdom far behind. You might get called a goal if you're acting to maggot or if you're langers.
As you can see, in different parts of Ireland, they all speak differently.
Ireland is a part of the European Union. Their economy includes a variety of private freedom with centralized economic planning and government regulations. The currency in Ireland consists of euros, and their crops consist of barley, potatoes, and sugar belts.
Their government is known as the Republic of Ireland, and the head of their government is the Taoiseach, and the deputy's prime minister is the Taoiseach. In Ireland, there are 15 departments. Both the Taoiseach and the prime minister form the government and have executive power. They give the people the right to life, meaning they have a right to die naturally, and they aren't kept alive by artificial means. The right to personal liberty, meaning you're entitled to your own personal freedom. And finally, freedom of assembly, your right to meet peacefully without weapons. Unfortunately, they don't have the right to anyone's health endangered by the state. Now in Ireland, women aren't expected to be a housewife, and it's okay for men to be more sensitive towards their children. But naturally, children in Ireland tend to spend more time with their mother, whether it's going to the park, shopping, or even socializing. If the child gets time to spend with their father, then it might include going on a trip or even playing a game, but mostly all their time spent is with their mother. Ireland is now having a lot of issues with their national debt, poverty, and trying to legalize same-sex marriage. Unfortunately, Ireland has major debt problems. Their government had to bail them out. After years of high growth, Ireland went into a recession, meaning the economy declined. Both the recession and the bank bailers had led to the rise in the government's borrowing. Now, the national debt in Ireland is a total of 210.23 billion euros. As predicted on the chart, in 2015, they predicted Ireland's debt to be 209.4 billion euros. And they predict in 2017 to be a total of 215.27 billion euros. Then, after that, they hope that it should slowly decline. Legalizing same-sex marriage is another current issue in Ireland. Most Catholic churches are still against it, but some priests are starting to break out. On May 19, 2015, Ireland voted on same-sex marriage, and they might be the first country to legalize same-sex marriage at the ballot box. Many believe that Ireland needs to take the next step. In 2015, a survey was taken of 100 people, and they found out that 78% believe that same-sex marriage should be legal, but 71% believe that they should only be able to adopt. Ireland's Prime Minister of State for Equality says, just as expanding voting rights for women didn't change voting, extending marriage rights to same-sex couples isn't going to change marriage. Another one of Ireland's current struggling issues is their poverty rate. 120,000 people live in poverty, and now 30% of Ireland were forced to take enforced deprivation. Enforced deprivation is a form of poverty characterized by a lack of two or more basic required needs for standard living, such as the ability to afford food, heating, and clothing. Almost 1.4 million Irish people are living without life's basic essentials. 440,000 are children, and more than 90,000 are pensioners. The Dublin Cross Care is now supplying food to different charities to help with poverty. It's sad to say that the gap between the super rich and the rest of the population is because of the crisis-ridden capitalist system. Without social welfare and other supports, 50.2% of the population would be in dire risk of poverty. Ireland is very different in the way they celebrate holidays, plan funerals, play types of different sports, and many other things. But they have the same issues as we have in America, and they have to deal with them the same way as we do. I hope you enjoyed the video and the Irish music!